Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday, the 31st of January 2022. And today is the last day of January, hasn't time flown, and it's also the last day of the January transfer window. And it has closed, and I'll tell you what, Millwall might have got their fingers caught in the door as it went slamming shut on them. Because we've got this situation here. This is being reported by the Yorkshire Post. January transfer window, Sheffield United's Luke Freeman waiting to see if Mill will beat the deadline. Sheffield United may have to wait until Tuesday morning to find out if Luke Freeman is still their player. And I'll tell you what, if Mill have messed this up, it's going to be a same old. Typical Millwall. Millwall believed they filed the paperwork in time to beat the 11 PM deadline to sign the midfielder on loan, but we'll have to wait for official confirmation. If signed off, it means Freeman will leave Bramall Lane after just 4 league starts in 2.5 years. He joined from Queen's Park Rangers in the summer of 2019, but with the Blades midfield so strong in his debut season, failed to make much of an impact in the team. He spent last season on loan at Nottingham Forest, but has found opportunities limited in South Yorkshire, even now the Blades have dropped into the Championship. Half of his 8 appearances have come in cup competitions, and there have only been 1 league start. Luton Town was strongly linked with a move also on deadline day. So here you go. So it seems Luton and Millwall were in for him. For whatever reason, he chose Millwall because he's from Dartford, Gravesend. He was born in Dartford, grew up in Gravesend. Broke through at Gillingham. So he's a local lad. Probably wants to come back to the area. And we may have completely and utterly fucked this up. Because did the paperwork go through in time? We don't know. Now, this happened several years ago when Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal. They put through paperwork and it didn't go through in time, and the transfer that they said the day after, no, the transfer didn't go through, so it was cancelled. And we could be in a similar situation to that. So here you go. These are the tweets from Richard Corley of the South London Press, and this was the first one he put out 2 hours ago. So I'm filming this at nearly 1 AM. So this is from just before the transfer window closed. Millwall are trying to get a loan deal done for Sheffield United's Luke Freeman. Complicated one, but player very keen to come. Okay, and while we're talking about loan deals not being announced tonight, Mill's move for Luke Freeman also needs to be ratified that it was completed in time, and that also won't be until tomorrow morning. Mill submitted all the paperwork on Freeman. It will be a loan deal for the remainder of the season if it gets approved. So there you go. Did we put paperwork through in time? Did we not? And presumably there's a fax sitting in the FA or EFL. It's on their machine, and the time will be stamped on it when it went through. And it could be literally down to that. Maybe they run out of ink and paper and it didn't go through. Is it done by email nowadays? I don't know. Maybe it is. Did that go through in time? Is it in their spam folder? I don't know. All kinds of bollocks going on. But it would be typical chaotic Millwall. Now, Gary Rout's spoken about chaotic Millwall on the pitch. It's chaotic Millwall off the pitch as well, to be honest with you, isn't it? And this would just be another symptom of that. If we try to sign a loan player at 10:59 and we're running around trying to get the paperwork through, and now we have to wait until the morning to find out if it did go through. So this is Schrodinger's transfer. We may or we may not have signed Luke Freeman. So now, by the time you're reading this, because like I said, I'm filming this at 1 AM on Monday night. By the time you're reading this, I imagine the office opens at 9 AM. By the time you're watching this, or if you're watching it after 9 AM on Tuesday, the 1st of February, you'll probably already know if that went through or not, and you may be happy or not happy about that happening. But here we go. We may or we may not have signed up a player on loan today. on the last day of transfer deadline. So there you go. Yeah, typical Millwall chaos and nonsense. So how did it start? So this is the start of transfer day. A lot of stories about Millwall today, obviously. And this is from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. We want to build more long-term. Millwall boss on how he sees final day of transfer window. Gary Rowett has outlined how he sees the final day of the transfer window, breaking down from a Millwall perspective. The Lions have made moves for a number of players this month and seen bids rejected for the likes of Derby County's Louis Sibley, Fortuna Sittard's Zion Fleming, and FC Utrecht's Bart Ramselaar. Millwall manager Rowett told the South London Press, "Our intention this whole window has been to freshen things up a little bit. Getting one or two players regular football has always been the plan." Smudge and John Daddy Bodvarsson were also always part of that plan. Those two have gone out to play regular football. There may be one or more to do that if something works and drops for them. That's clear. We'll get onto that later. The aim was to get 2 or 3 bodies in. The Jed situation has rumbled on for 3 or 4 weeks, which hasn't been particularly helpful because the speculation does affect the group. That isn't Jed's fault, but it does affect the group. We wanted to keep Jed here. We're still looking to strengthen. We put a lot of competitive offers in for young players who we feel will make us better in the long term. What I was reluctant to do in this window was just to bring 3 or 4 older loan players in to patch things up. I don't see there is any point. We've done that too often. What we really want to do is build a little bit more long term. Sometimes you can do it and sometimes you can't. It's better to try and do something for the right reasons than to do something in a blind panic on the last day of the window. I don't think the club have done that too often in the past. I don't see us doing that today unless 1 or 2 targets we've got have dropped. Well, obviously, that was just hot hair because nothing came through, and all we ended up was a loan or maybe not a loan of Luke Freeman, who is 29 years old. He's shown bits and pieces. He is a good footballer at this level. He's played for over 400 games of professional football. He's experienced, but it's an older player on loan. So obviously the money for the signing of the younger players didn't turn out. We signed another older player on loan. He's 29. Probably be 30 this year. And there you go. Well, that's not super old, but it's not someone with any long-term potential. So there you go. This is Rowett this morning, and so here you go. He's talking about Matt Smith and Bodvarsson leaving. Then he said there may be one more to do that, and that is what we got this morning. So we got this from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. Millwall confirmed then exit for long-serving midfielder Ben Thompson. Yeah, so Ben Thompson gone. Ben Thompson has left Millwall. Ben Thompson's Millwall career is over after his contract was cancelled by mutual agreement this afternoon. We broke the news that the 26-year-old was due to be released from his deal, which was due to expire this summer. The move means that Thompson is free to sign for another club, and the midfielder is expected to link back up with Neil Harris, who took charge at Gillingham earlier today. Yeah, if you don't know that, Neil Harris has become Gillingham's new football manager, so there you go. Thompson, a Millwall fan, has only made 1 appearance since September 22, replacing the injured Shea Yojo at half-time in a recent 1-0 defeat to Forest at the Den. His return to the first-team fold in SC16 only materialised due to manager Gary Rowett facing seriously depleted options. No-nonsense, tough tackling and a character on and off the pitch, Ben Thompson has been at the heart of everything Millwall for a decade, said the club in a statement on their official website. The club would like to thank Ben for his outstanding efforts whilst with Millwall and wish him all the best for the future. So there you go. What has happened has happened. Matt Smith gone, John Daddy Bodvarsson gone, Ben Thompson gone, Colin Mahoney not gone. His contract is also up in the summer. He has not gone. Interesting. So Ben Thompson's gone. They think he's going to go to Gillingham, and that was confirmed later in the day, probably about 3 or 4 hours after he was announced that he had left Mill by mutual consent. And this is from news@den.co.uk. Midfielder Ben Thompson links up with former boss Neil Harris at Gillingham after leaving Millwall. Ben Thompson signed for Gillingham after leaving on transfer deadline day. Thompson, 26, has his contract mutually terminated in SC16 as is linked up with former Lions boss Neil Harris with the Gills. He's signed until the summer, so he's only signed until the summer. So it's basically technically, I would imagine, like a loan deal. I don't know why they didn't loan him, probably because you're only allowed 5 loans. You're only allowed to play or have 5 loan players in your matchday squad. Which, going back to whether we loaned Luke Freeman or not, we've already got 4 players on loan. I believe Ballard, Burke, Ojo, and Afobe. So getting 1 more loan player is the maximum amount of loan players we can have. We could loan more, but we can't play them in the squad. So then, what would be the point? Well, if you've got 1 injured long term, but then usually if teams have a player that's on loan long term injured, they send him back to the club where he's loaned from. So there you go. Maybe that's the reason why. So he's basically a loan until the end of the season, but it's technically he's gone from Millwall and he's signed for Gillingham till the end of the season. Why has he done that? Maybe he just wants a place to go to play football now, and then he can sort proper stuff out in the summer. He's probably going to have more options if he does well at Gillingham are in trouble. They're in a relegation zone. If they stay up, it might be possible for him to sign for them in League 1. If they're in League 2, I doubt he would want to sign for them in League 2. So there's that as well. So Harris was confirmed as the new manager of Gillingham on Monday. Yeah, Neil Harris. This is an old photo, but Neil Harris was confirmed the Gillingham manager. Thompson made 175 appearances and scored 12 goals for Millwall, but had fallen down the pecking order under Gary Rowett. I'm over the moon, Thompson told Gillingham's website. Obviously, with Neil coming in as manager, it was a no-brainer in the end. I am buzzing to be here. I jumped at the opportunity and hopefully we can have some good times at the club. Hopefully I can add some goals. I'm ready to go. It's a challenge to get out of the bottom 4 and get out of the league. So there you go. I hope he does well there. Good luck to him. Genuinely good luck to him. Moving on now to more. So this was put out this morning as well. Report claims Mill readying bid for Middlesbrough striker. Yeah, we were linked with him before, and again today. Mill are reportedly readying a deadline date offer for Middlesbrough striker Uche Ikpeazu. Borough boss Chris Wilder said earlier in the window that they were willing to let the former Wycombe Wanderers forward leave following the arrivals of Aaron Connolly and Forlin Balogun. Now, Football Insider are reporting that the Lions are hoping to land the 26-year-old after missing out on Jordan Ugle to Cardiff City. But they add that the South London club face stiff competition from a few other EFL clubs. Ikpeazu scored 2 goals in 20 appearances for the Teessiders, so he is a competent championship player. He's not the best at this level, but he's probably, to be fair, probably better than Matt Smith. But what happened with that? Well, he didn't sign for Millwall. He signed for Cardiff City, and it's a loan deal as well. So, there you go. I'm not going to get too far into it, but he's gone for them, and it was a loan deal. So they've loaned Jordan Ugle, and they've loaned Uche Ikpeazu, 2 players that we were linked with, and they've both gone to Cardiff. Steve Morrison, is he hijacking our deals? I don't know. Hope not, but why they've signed him? He's a replacement for Kiefer Moore. Kiefer Moore, Welsh international, played in the Euros, scored in the Euros. He's joined Bournemouth. Bournemouth are spending big in this window. They're definitely trying to get up and get that second place behind Fulham. And they've signed Kiefer Moore, who's a very good striker. And I tell you what, Uche Ikpeazu, he's no Kiefer Moore. So good luck Cardiff City with that. But I'm sure Kiefer Moore not interested in being involved in a relegation fight at the bottom of the league. So he's moving on. And we are moving on as well. So that's probably most of the transfer news. We're going to move on now to Loan Watch. Here's a Loan Watch from newsatdaily.co.uk. Millwall Loan Watch. Forward nets again to keep Sutton United in automatic promotion hunt. Yes, Millwall striker scoring goals in League Two for another club. Isaac Olofi scored his 8th goal of the season to help Sutton United to a 2-0 win at Cardiff United at the weekend. Olofi opened the scoring in the 23rd minute before David Ajiboye added the second 8 minutes later. Sutton made it 7 games unbeaten. Sutton are 4th, level on points with Newport County in the 3rd automatic promotion spot with a game in hand. Here we go. Isaac Olofi getting a championship medal in the National League last season. Could be getting promoted from League 2 in the season after. The U's host Bristol Rovers next Saturday. Also in League 2, Leyton Orient's playoff hopes suffered another blow as they lost 2-0 away at Mansfield. Alex Mitchell played on the right side of the back three while Dan Moss was an unused substitute for Kenny Jackett's side. Fans not happy at Leyton Orient. Their good start to the season has fallen away and they've fallen down the league as well. They're 10 points off 7th and they travelled to Bradford City on Tuesday night. In the National League South, Arthur Penny played 90 minutes as Welling United drew 2-2 at Braintree Town last Tuesday. The Wings are 19th in the table and travel to Dartford on Saturday. Big local derby there. So there you go. In Loan Watch, also from millfc.co.uk. Got a lovely picture there of Dan Moss playing. That was I think in the midweek. He did get involved for them. Pretty much the same with the same. Alex Mitchell playing today, Tuesday, tomorrow basically. Dan Moss probably involved in that as well. And there you go. Moving on now. So there is an under 23s game tomorrow as well as a first team game. I'm not going to do the Preston preview video in this video. It's going to be a separate video coming out tomorrow lunchtime, or maybe just before lunchtime. So Swansea City versus Millwall under 23s, a trip to Wales for Kevin Nugent's men. Millwall under 23s make the journey to Swansea City in the Professional Development League on Tuesday afternoon. Kick off at 1 PM. It's going to be at their training grounds, so you will not be able to go to the game. Kevin Nugent's side head for South Wales, looking to get back to winning ways following a 2-0 loss to Watford last time out, and will complete a double over the Swans with a victory after a 3-1 win in the corresponding fixture in October. Updates will be available on Millwall FC Twitter, with a report published on this website after the game's completion. So there you go with that. Moving on now, we're going to finish with this. So Shay Yojo put this tweet out today on his Twitter. He's on the exercise bike with his boot on his left foot. Hope he doesn't mess himself up. But he said here, decided to do my rehab at Millwall, so I'm still connected to the team for when I'm back for the final push. No operation needed. Another day closer. So good. There you go. That's good to hear. I hope that's true and it's not just a Liverpool give him the cold shoulder. It wouldn't surprise me with these Premier League operations. I don't think they really give a shit about players down the pecking order, especially when they want them out of the way. So I do hope it's genuine that he's doing his recovery at Millwall because he wants to do it. And you can see a lot of people like that. 1,467 likes. Fantastic stuff there from Shay Yojo. So that is it for today's video. By the time you watch this, if you're watching this on Tuesday, we may or we may not have signed a player on loan. By the time you watch this, you will know, and I will know as well. But that's in the future. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.